Good morning. I'm forecaster Jimmy O'Neill, and here's your daytime KMET Weather Center forecast. The Beaumont and the Banning area, as we go through the daytime hours, we expect sunny skies, highs in the lower 90s. As we move through the day in the IE area, partly sunny skies, highs in the mid 90s. And for the daytime in the Coachella Valley, sunny skies, highs 110. I'm forecaster Jimmy O'Neill for Smart Talk 1490 KMET.
That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. I'm Aaron Michael Sanchez. We got Mr. Jesse Sanchez over there kicking it up in the newsroom, seeing what's going on around the world. And however you're enjoying it, make sure to enjoy it well. We got Diana Chenevere, who's tuning in from Florida. Good time to be alive, especially in Florida. Jesse can't wait to go back, right, Jesse?
You're just putting me on the spot, aren't you? I will visit. I will not live.
You know what? I think you got to go during the time where it's like after the humid summer season, and then just
True. I was there like in the beginning, and it was not pretty for me. I was not prepared for that.
yeah. I think it's like at least I know. I will say a good place. If I were to vacation like in Cancun, I would not visit during the summer. I've been there during the summer. It is unless you go like fishing or you go out on the water and a lot of lake. I'm sorry, not lake, but ocean things. Then that's one thing. But I say the best time to go to Cancun and maybe any tropical type area is usually November. November's like really good. Then you got December, you got January, then you got February, and those are pretty good months to go check it out. So there you go. So thank you, Diana, for always visiting and watching. We might hit you up on that yacht. Stephanie Reed says, hello, happy editing this glorious sunshine chilly day for today's awesome busy day ahead. Maria Yankopoulos is tuning in as well, says, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Maria. All right, lots of things happening in the world, including the latest. Yes, we talked a bit about this, and although I certainly don't want to make it all about this. Unfortunately, it's some of the top news of the day. A new Johns Hopkins model is projecting COVID-19 resurgence in 3 months. As it stands, 45% of the U.S. population is vaccinated, but Johns Hopkins researchers are seeing numbers as the perfect gap for a coronavirus resurgence to take hold. Based on a new scenario model by Johns Hopkins, the next 3 months are crucial if we want to avoid a resurgence by the fall. Dr. Sean Truelove, assistant scientist at Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health, says the rest of the population still has some chance for infection and mortality. The modeling hub came out with 4 scenarios of what can happen in the upcoming months if vaccination rates do not increase. They said we have a vaccination scenario and a low vaccination scenario. While the high vaccination is assuming 86% of the eligible population gets vaccinated, low vaccination scenario is down at 75%. Both are higher than we are right now, so we still need some progress to get there. So according to the data, it looks like those that are not vaccinated, especially, are the 18 to 29-year-olds. And then at the same time, they're also looking at the more prevalent Delta. You're going to hear a lot about the Delta variant of coronavirus, which we keep talking about the variants. I know variants just sound like another version of coronavirus we don't want to hear about. But according to this, a key factor driving the resurgence is the Delta variant. It's the mutation of the virus responsible for the surge in cases in India. In the U.S., this variant is spreading. Now, I don't know to what degree it's spreading because I haven't really talked about that too much. I know we had numbers as of last week about 10% of coronavirus cases were about the Delta variant. So that's something to at least be aware of and be not in the case of, oh, I'm going to just act like it's normal again. And that's where I think our country needs to at least look at. We need to look at it closely. I saw an article yesterday. We'll talk about that as well with Newsom and what is being done here on the home front. A lot of people are wondering what's going to happen. But first, let's talk about the national day for today. Again, being Tuesday, June 22nd, National Chocolate Eclair Day, National HVAC Tech Day, and National Onion Rings Day. Jesse, which of these will you celebrate today?
You had me at chocolate eclair, but you cemented it in with onion rings. I'm gonna go with onion ring day.
Ooh, okay. I'm gonna say, as much as onion rings. Oh man, I just got like some of the top places to get onion rings at right now. But I'm gonna say before we do that, National HVAC Tech Day. If you have an air conditioner, now is the time to get it checked out before the really hot summer months. Okay, we felt like the dips and the highs and the lows, right? In the last couple of weeks, we've had it kind of cooler and then really hot. Get it taken care of ahead of time because this is usually when prices go up and costs go high, and everybody gets all of a sudden a new air conditioner when all they needed was it to get checked out. Sometimes you just need it to be recharged. Sometimes you need a new replacement. It's not that hard. But people forget that. I know I used to sell air conditioners, and that was one of the things we always had to be very careful of, making sure that we weren't selling something that the person didn't need. See first if they could get it replaced. If it was like 12 or 15 years old, it's time to replace it. Just get it done. Otherwise, you're just throwing away too much money out the door. Okay, so National Onion Rings Day recognizes a battered dip deep fried bite of deliciousness that runs rings around other appetizers found in Canada, the UK, Ireland, Australia, and some parts of Asia. Onion rings are unknown as to their origin. A recipe called Fried Onions with Parmesan Cheese is included in John Mallard's 1802 cookbook, The Art of Cookery Made Easy and Refined. Have you ever had onion rings with Parmesan cheese or like it with other special types of dipping sauces, Jesse?
No, but you're enticing me, and that
Oh,
sounds amazing.
we got to go to Yard House. Yard House has some really good onion
Yep.
rings. Like they call it the onion ring tower.
Okay.
And yeah, and they're delicious. And then you dip them in certain like sauces that just go with it. Some believe a recipe for French fried onions appeared in the Middletown, New York Daily Times on January 13th, 1910. The Pig Stand restaurant chain established in Oak Cliff, Texas in the early 1920s is one of the claimants to the onion rings invention. A recipe for deep fried onion rings dipped in milk, then dredged in flour, appeared in a 1933 Crisco advertisement in the New York Times Magazine. And in the 1960s, the A&W restaurant is credited with popularizing the onion rings in fast food restaurants. Many agree onion rings taste best hot from the fryer. Whether you dip them in a sauce or not is up to you. There are plenty to choose from: sweet, spicy, salt and vinegar, and everything in between. How do you observe it? Well, obviously, make some if you don't have some, or get some from a trusted place where you could totally get them. What do you call them, Jesse?
Oh, I call them vegetable donuts.
Vegetable donuts. That's, you know what? I'll go with that. There's nothing wrong with that. I think it's smart. All right, social media. Let's see what people are saying. Diana agrees. Weather in Florida is nice in the fall. She says that's why I scheduled the Emerald Coast Film Festival Coast for October 7th through the 9th, 2021. Yeah, we got to come out. That's for sure. Let's see. We should talk about that, by the way. I'm looking at films in the festivals. Maria Yancopoulos says National Onion Ring Day. Yummy. Homer drool sound. We used to have that actually, Jesse. We have those sounds somewhere on the computer. You gotta find them. And Patricia Sommer says yes, Delta is the one that came from India. They changed the names to avoid segmentation of people, country. Hate issues became an issue with some people being targeted and harmed. Stephanie Reed says I had leftover onion rings from Sunday at Scooters yesterday with a cup of Scotty P's Big Mug Coffee. Ooh, that sounds good. Patricia saying I'm getting, oh dear, I'm getting hungry now. I'm doing my daily 16-hour fast. Don't get to eat until 8 p.m. Got it. Okay, Patricia, we understand you. All right, lots of other news as well. Again, be careful out there. And should LA County extend the eviction ban? That's kind of the latest question in the coming days because, of course, we're already seeing the pinch here with the end of the moratorium coming very closely. So is it going to end? What's going to happen? I did see an article yesterday which I thought was a step in the right direction for sure. Newsom, of course, making an announcement as to the moratorium. What is going to happen? How is it going to happen? They're looking at it very closely. So we expect a couple of other things that might happen very closely around the corner. But the question of the day is, what will happen? Well, the latest, Governor Gavin Newsom says California will pay off all the past due rent that accumulated in the nation's most populous state because of the fallout from the coronavirus pandemic. A promise to make landlords whole while giving renters a clean slate. That's the latest. And I got to say, and then some. But I think at the time, it's probably the smartest thing to do. And I could tell people are going to say, where's that money going to come from, right? The question of the day. However, if you have a fallout of landlords not being able to pay their own mortgages, renters not being able to pay their own rent, I think we don't have the correct numbers as to how many have not exactly paid their rent, which I know will come in the days ahead. But left unsettled is whether California will continue to ban evictions for unpaid rent beyond June 30th, a pandemic-related order that was meant to be temporary but is proving difficult to undo. Federal eviction protections are set to expire June 30th. California had passed its own protections that applied to more people. Newsom and leaders are meeting privately to decide what to do. Part of the negotiations over the state's roughly $260 billion operating budget, an extension of the eviction seems likely to give California more time to spend all the money to cover unpaid rent. Landlords and tenants' rights are arguing over how long that extension should last. Kelly Lloyd, who's a 43-year-old single mother who says she has not worked consistently since the pandemic began in March 2020, says the expectation for people to be up and at 'em and ready to pay rent on July 1st is wholeheartedly unfair. And you got to imagine, Jesse, even if, like, let's say, okay, for those that are kind of being like, okay, we're over it, it's done, we all got vaccinated. The question is, at what point do people get back to work? The majority, right? Jobs have just started to kind of, come back. The service industry has started to come back. How do you pay down the debt of, anywhere from 6 to 8 months, which is where a lot of people have been in. So, of course, this moratorium is important not just to renters, but to landlords with mortgages. And so the question is, is there a good opportunity for somebody to buy a potential foreclosed house, right? Which is what the banks are going to have to do at some point. So how long do you give that state of affairs when in reality there's been a mandatory lockup, so people, and or shutdown, so people have had to lose their jobs, lose their businesses, lose their source of income, and now how do you pay the rent, right? Real estate is in a very precarious position, so the question is, what are you going to do next? Lloyd, who's a member of the advocacy group Alliance of Californians for Community Empowerment, is supposed to pay $1,924 a month for a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, rent-controlled apartment in the Crenshaw district of South LA. But she says she's $30,000 behind after not working for most of the last year to care for her 2 children as daycare centers closed and schools halted in-person learning. And then you put that in the mix, right? Because the kids had to be at home, so they spent more food, more time. You had less time for yourself. It's a whole situation. Whereas, sometimes you forget the schools help pay and take the time, the daily routine, from the family so that they can go manage the work. But now people are trying to work at home, right? Trying to minimize their spending habits, and yet are still behind. That debt will be covered, hopefully, by the government. Lloyd said she recently lost a job at a real estate brokerage and hasn't found another one yet. She's worried she could be evicted if the protections expire. She said, quote, simply because the state has opened back up doesn't mean people have access to their jobs. Very true, by the way, very true. In the wine country area of Sonoma County, a property manager, Keith Becker, says 14 tenants are more than $100,000 behind in rent payments. It's put financial pressure on the owners, who Becker says have resigned themselves to it. But they've grown weary of the endless protections, which he noted were aimed at addressing a public health emergency and not meant to be permanent. Now, this is the flip side of that. He said, quote, we should do our best to get back to the starting point where we were in December of 2019. Now, and he's not wrong. December of 2019, the whole year of 2019 was much better than it was in 2020, we all agree, was probably the worst, you had New Year's, you had Kobe, you had, right, the pandemic, and then just everything went south.
Yeah, that was a bad year. Just so many bad things happened. It was like,
yeah. Yeah, and this year I feel like it's a certain adoption of time kind of spent at with our loved ones, and kind of like a slowing down. But now we're trying to speed back up in the middle of still a world pandemic. We're not out of the woods. And then with a variant possibly making a resurgence again of the coronavirus, the question is what's going to happen in 3 months? So even if they extend another 4 months, right, that would be a good amount of time to say, okay, well, let's see if our vaccinations and everything's good. So I know some are pulling for a January. I don't know that that's going to exactly hit it off with people and landlords because, money goes where it's got to go, right? Landlords have these properties for a reason. They got to pay down the debt unless it's paid off and it's just income coming in. So there's a lot of variety of things on how to make it make sense. California has $5.2 billion to pay off people's rent, money from multiple aid packages approved by Congress. That appears to be more than enough to cover all the unpaid rent in the state, according to Jason Elliott, who's a senior counselor to Newsom on housing and homelessness. The state has been slow to distribute that money, and it's unlikely it can spend it all by June 30th. A report from the California Department of Housing and Community Development showed that of the $490 million in requests for rental assistance through May 30th, just $32 million has been paid. It's hard to get access to these because you're like, where is the information at, right? So we'll try to provide that in the days ahead. But according to this, it doesn't include 12 cities and 10 counties that run their own rental assistance programs. It varies. It completely varies from location to location. So there's a lot more information on this. We'll cover that around the corner right after these messages. Stay tuned. We'll be right back right after these messages.
Don't let insurance companies make decisions for you. Go to Pass Auto Center in Banning, your one-stop repair facility with full collision repair, auto maintenance, service, and an authorized smog center. You'll also find a full-service used car lot to fit every budget with the right vehicle for you. Trade-ins are accepted and they pay cash for your car. Pass Auto Center at 2609 West Ramsey in Banning, just off the I-10 freeway between Sunset and 22nd. Call 951-849-7878.
Join Daryl McCanns and Yvette Walker each Tuesday at 4 p.m. on ABC News Radio, KMET, and Internet KMET TV for the Southern California Business Report. The show highlights successful businesses and individuals behind them. Daryl and Yvette interview the incredible people managing these enterprises that range from awe-inspiring sole proprietors to world-renowned organizations. The Southern California Business Report, Tuesdays at 4 p.m. on KMET AM, FM, and Internet KMET TV.
Hi, I'm Frederick Penny of Penny & Associates Injury Lawyers. I bet you're tired of hearing lawyer commercials, so just relax and listen to music for a few seconds. When you or a family member has been injured, call 800-616-4LAW or see us at PennyandAssociates.com. See, that wasn't so bad.
New teen driver in the family? Just bought your first home? Have a new bundle of joy? Every life change matters, and by reviewing your insurance policy with Little & Sons Insurance Services, you could be benefiting with big savings. Little & Sons Insurance Services, a family-owned insurance agency who values the old-fashioned way of doing business. They work for you, not an insurance company, meaning your best interests are at heart. They can custom tailor your policy based on specific needs at a price you can afford. Home, auto, or business, you're covered. Call 1-844-9-LITTLE. That's 1-844-9-LITTLE, or go online to little, the letter N, sons.com. That's littlensons.com.
Get up to the minute forecast and temperatures for Beaumont, Banning, Redlands, Palm Springs, your community, national or international cities, on KMET's website, KMET1490am.com. The station now features AccuWeather. AccuWeather offers weekend and extended forecasts along with the latest radar map and current conditions. AccuWeather on KMET1490am.com. Logged in every morning for your daily forecast.
Ontario International Airport is onto a better way to fly with over 65 daily nonstop flights to more than 20 major destinations and the easiest airport experience in Southern California. Visit flyonto.com/Ontario to learn more about Ontario International Airport today.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio KMET 1490 AM. We're looking at the social media chat room. We appreciate each and every one of you. We've got, let's see, Maria Yankopoulos, who posted a good link there at home.treasury.gov for emergency rental assistance programs and a list of them. You could check it out there. She posted a couple of them, so thank you for that. We'll check it out as well around the corner. Patricia Sommer, hello. Good to have you. Katja Wunderlin from Switzerland, good to have you as well. And Jesse, I think we need to take this on the road and visit these different places safely, of course. What do you think?
Right? That'd be a cool concept, a traveling morning show.
I know, right? To some of our listeners' locations, and then just broadcast from there. I you know why? I just want to go to Switzerland. I know Switzerland is what? You can't blame me. Switzerland's got it going on. So they've got like a lot of stuff there, and you know, they're like engineers of the U.S.'s like cool stuff. You know, Swiss Army knife isn't Swiss for nothing. They're ingenuitive, literally. Let's see. Dan Shinavir says, we've been open and maskless for months in Florida. Property sales have been crazy. Some purchasers were willing to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars over asking prices to secure their purchases. My friends in real estate here are doing very well. Hardly any rental issues that I've heard of. And you know, look, like I say, sometimes there's ones that don't like to let that information out. But if you look at the housing crisis, and maybe if you don't think it's a housing crisis, if you just look at the people that are homeless, all right, that has picked up in a crazy way. And I say that because, Jesse, I don't know about your area, but whenever you go like to certain gas stations, how often will you get approached by somebody that needs money?
I get hit up all the time.
Almost every time, especially in Riverside and San Bernardino. Now, some say, well, okay, that's Riverside, San Bernardino. That's in LA too, like the heart of LA, and then some. So there's a lot of people that in certain counties live in a very nice kind of area, whereas in other areas we feel and we see it, and then sometimes you don't hear the stories until you start listening to the stories. I've talked to like 8 different homeless people. One was a couple with their kids, and this was like a month and a half ago, and they just needed food money. So you've got that, and then you got people just in areas of the country which are just trying to make ends meet. Yeah, I don't know how many people I know which are, you know, buckling it down with other people and trying to minimize their costs by just, you know, housing multiple people. So I will say, like, I went to Arizona recently, and in Arizona, it seems like, oh, there's no problem there until you start looking beneath the scenes, and then you go, oh, wait, there is a problem. But some of these things don't make it into the national, scene. But I will say prices here versus Florida, I don't know what a house is, but Jesse, you were looking for property, right? Like for a rental. What's an average 1-bedroom cost?
Apartment or house?
Either one.
Let's see, 1-bedroom apartment. The cheapest one that I found was I want to say like $1,200.
Oh, that is actually good. What part of town was that? $1,200 is not bad.
That's supposed to be good. It's a small little dinky apartment.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good price. Okay, that. You didn't know that? That's a good price.
Because there are apartments here that also have, you know, a little bit more affordable thing. Like there's an apartment complex down here in Banning. I think it's like $800 for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment. So I think it all depends on the location as well.
It does. On average, $1,600 for like a 1-bedroom is a common amount to find in LA. Okay,
How are people supposed to live?
Well, that's the thing. Based on the economy and based on how many people have been able to go to work, that's the question of the day. How are you going to be able to pay down that rent? Okay, so there's a lot of concern. Those that know and feel it, know. I will say, like, I have to take on an extra job just to be able to pay the bills as well. I'll probably be driving Lyft around the corner as well, along with the other stuff that we're doing and trying to do, you know, with the entertainment business. But entertainment doesn't pay the bills. It really doesn't. You know, you have actors that are out of work because there's not enough jobs. You've got musicians out of work because there's just not enough positions. You've got entertainment. Just, I've been talking to the industry for at least a few weeks, because now they're starting to have red carpet events and starting to promote things. We were at an event this last Friday promoting a special product line found at Walmart. UOMA makeup, but Wiz Khalifa showed up, Mario Lopez, and a few others. But everybody's feeling the pinch behind the scenes, and if you have a job in the entertainment industry, you're blessed. But if you don't, you're really trying to be careful. So there's a lot of stuff that people are looking at. Patricia Summers says 2 jobs and still homeless. A lot of people are beginning to live in RVs, and you know what? RV sales have picked up. Actually, it's funny that you say that. I was talking to somebody in the RV industry, and their numbers skyrocketed actually in the last year and a half because of that. I'm not gonna lie, even I've considered maybe downsizing to an RV situation or a motorhome, right? Motorhomes, especially for those 55 and up, are sometimes recommended. So I'm thinking, okay, what do I do for my mom who lives on a limited income, and then some? So there's a lot of questions. Maria Biancopolo says 700, everything included is good. 2-bedroom apartment. I have family who pay that in a good area in the city. See, Maria knows what's up.
Boom. So, 1,200 for an apartment, and plus you still have utilities, and you still got to worry about all this other stuff.
What city is that in, Maria? Because that's almost unheard of here. But Southern California is one of those where it's just different. It's and I think if everybody posted what they pay there, I mean, look, here in gas we pay what, close to $5 now, right? So income. Look, the jobs are not as plentiful as they used to be. That's number one. Number two, people in the service industry are trying to go back, but how many restaurants have closed? How much service industries have closed? How many other jobs now are virtual? How many jobs are, you understand what I'm saying? We're still seeing things get from under in just the last couple of months. Spending is happening, right? I see it. People are roundabout. There's traffic on the streets. But remember, January, February, and March, it was kind of not really there. And that just tells you, what's going on with people. So it is what it is. Let's see. Stephanie says Ohio's not as bad for prices. It's less expensive, but if you're going to Cleveland, Columbus, and Further Flats can be pricey, but living out in a smaller town with Perry, Ohio, or Madison, Ohio, you get all your seasons here and no hurricanes. And Diana says rentals are crazy everywhere, every state, especially for anyone who has not been able to work because of COVID. Yes, true. All right, we're going to take a quick little, and she pays only $275 or $350 in Florida. We got to move to Florida, Jesse, just weather the heat and get a boat. I have a friend who actually has a boat, invited me over to Marina Del Rey just to go, and I go, you know what? Maybe I'll live on a boat. So I got options, right? Anyway, we got to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Tried shipping a package lately? It's amazing how difficult and time-consuming it can be. Packing envelopes, boxes, second-day ground, next-day air, it's all enough to give you a headache. Next time, do yourself a favor, go with the pros at the UPS store in Beaumont. They'll pack it right and let you know all your shipping options. You can also take care of everyday tasks like copies, faxing, notary services, and live scan fingerprinting. And while you're there, pay your Edison, gas company, and Verizon bills. Open extended hours Monday through Saturday. The UPS store in Beaumont, located in the Oak Valley Plaza at 1440 Beaumont Avenue. Call 951-769-5956. That's 951-769-5956. Online at the upsstorelocal.com/5027 or Google 5027.
A show where you can actually have all of your legal questions answered for free by a law firm with 40 years experience? Are you kidding me? What could be better than that? That's the WK Law Power Hour, 1490 KMET, every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Get your legal questions answered, great guests, watch or listen. You won't regret it. We look forward to seeing you there.
Your health truly is the greatest gift. At U-Theory, quality of life is at the heart of every product we make. From farm to shelf, we travel the world to source the purest, most efficacious, and clinically studied ingredients to create science-backed supplements that support beauty, emotional, digestive, and physical well-being. All U-Theory products are manufactured at our Southern California facility, ensuring the highest quality standards every step of the way. As a family-owned company, we celebrate the power of human potential with the mission to inspire wellness in all. Try U-Theory Immune Plus Daily Wellness. 100% daily values of vitamin C, D3, and zinc. Go beyond the you of today and catch the you of tomorrow. U-Theory.
For all you truck and RV enthusiasts, TruckWorks right here in Banning is your one-stop shop for the best diesel performance and overall truck and RV needs. Whether you're towing, racing, off-road, or just cruising around town, TruckWorks specializes in truck and RV service, maintenance, repair, and performance upgrades for every light and medium-duty truck manufacturer. Bring it down to Terry and the guys at TruckWorks. Call 951-922-4776 or visit their website at mydieseldown.com today.
That's right. It's the morning show. You're on ABC News Radio, KMET, 1490 AM, and lots of questions in social media, including this one. What's going on with something pretty cool, which a lot are going, wait, what? At least something's coming to Netflix. Steven Spielberg, yeah, which is interesting. I saw this article as our good friend over there, Maria, had brought it up. Says, what a difference 2 years in a global pandemic makes. Steven Spielberg, who a couple of years ago was quoted, although they say he didn't, drew a clear line between theatrically released films and streamer films. Well, has birthed his Amblin Partners into a partnership with Netflix that will cover multiple new feature films per year. It shows, once again, Netflix progress is kind of done a lot there. The Netflix deal will coexist side by side with the one Spielberg and Amblin have at Universal Pictures. Spielberg will make some films for Universal, others to be made for Netflix. The expectation is that Amblin will generate multiple films per year for Netflix, which has a voracious appetite for content and releases a new film per week. Which I will say, Jesse, they've had some good films as of late. You made a recommendation. I haven't seen it yet. With The Boy with Antler Ears. Remember what's that called?
The Boy with Antler Ears. Sweet Tooth.
Sweet Tooth. I'm sorry, I cannot remember that. I don't know what that was. I did see something though recently with my mom. It was interesting. It was Dragonheart. I think what was it called? It was with like a white dragon. Pretty good though. That's good for the family, by the way. Yeah, really good. So, but Amblin Universal's deal was extended last December. Two companies have been collaborating for some time in an informal capacity. Netflix released the Amblin-produced, Aaron Sorkin-directed The Trial of the Chicago 7, which is a film that garnered 6 Oscar nominations. Netflix stepped up to acquire, to finance, and distribute Maestro, the film that Bradley Cooper is directing and starring in on the iconic composer Leonard Bernstein. That film is in pre-production. Amblin Partners Chairman Spielberg said in a statement, quote, "At Amblin, storytelling will forever be at the center of everything we do. And from the minute Ted and I started discussing a partnership, it was abundantly clear that we had an amazing opportunity to tell new stories together and reach audiences in new ways. The new avenue for our films, alongside the stories we continue to tell with our longtime family at Universal and our other partners, will be incredibly fulfilling for me personally, since we get to embark on it together with Ted, and I can't wait to get started with him, Scott, and the entire Netflix team." The co-CEO, Netflix, and Chief Content Officer Sarandos called Spielberg a creative visionary and leader, and like so many others around the world, my growing up was shaped by his memorable characters and stories that have been enduring, inspiring, and awakening. We cannot wait to get to work with the Amblin team, and we're honored and thrilled to be part of this chapter of Steven's cinematic history. So that's going to be good. You know what? Because I'm looking forward to that, right? I mean, you know, you've got some of the top films. I remember AI. That was one that was interesting. I love with Tom Cruise as well. Any one of his actual movies, I've really enjoyed just his style of shooting, right? it's just epic in every way that he does. So I don't know about you if you're excited by this, but I think it's interesting because I remember there was this whole thing about theater versus streaming, and I get it, right?
Wasn't he talking trash about it a few years back? He's like, Netflix streaming services, blah 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 blah, they're no good.
Him and a couple others, we remember it.
Look who comes crawling back to Netflix.
Yeah, we remember it because it's the way of the world now. You've got theatrical distribution at an all-time low. You've got situations where technically companies are making more money online than they are in theaters because and it's sad. It's sad because theaters are drying up, right? They're drying up. When's the last time you've been to a theater?
Last week.
What did you see, by the way? Or was it good?
I was just joking. Not last week.
3 weeks ago?
It was a few weeks ago, but I do plan on going on July 9th. Because that is the release date for Black Widow.
Oh, that's right.
I want to see it in theater.
And they extended that, right? Wasn't that supposed to be like,
That was supposed to come out last year. And same with Ghostbusters, which should have been last year, and tons of other films which were last year. So I'm going to go to the theater. The theater I go to, they kind of have everything spaced out, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, so that's my point, and I'm sticking to it. So, all right, we're going to take a break here on the morning show. We'll come back in just a few minutes with more. Stay tuned for a lot here, and download our app. It's free, KMET 1490 AM. We appreciate your support. We'll be right back right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Take KMET 1490 AM with you everywhere you go by downloading our free smartphone apps found on the KMET website, KMET1490am.com. You can also go to the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store on your phone to download the free app. Now you can listen live or play any of your favorite programmers' podcasts using your smartphone. Go to KMET1490am.com and download your free phone app today.
The Beljanski Foundation offers you the scientific approach to healing used successfully by Francois Mitterrand, the former president of France. The Beljanski Foundation offers you non-toxic, scientifically supported methods to regain your health. Visit the Beljanski Foundation website, www.beljanski.org. You'll be glad you did. That's www.beljanski.org. The Beljanski Foundation. The information is essential. The Beljanski Foundation. www.beljanski.org. The Beljanski Method, now in America. www.beljanski.org.
Summer in the Inland Empire. You know what that means. Sunny days and hot temperatures that make you want to stay inside. Franklin Mechanical Systems can repair or replace your air conditioning unit to get it working cool before the heat hits. For cleaning, repair, or a new installation, call them for a free estimate. Franklin Mechanical Systems for all your residential and commercial air conditioning needs. Call their Beaumont office at 951-845-1000. That's 951-845-1000 and get cool today.
The Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Banning is distinctively suited for your travel time out of the car. Off the road, you'll find a courteous, welcoming staff in spacious rooms with desks, flat-screen HD TVs, and comfortable furnishings. Enjoy the complimentary breakfast buffet, high-speed internet, and fitness center and pool. The Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Banning, conveniently located off the I-10 near golf, gaming, and entertainment. For reservations and information, call 951-572-5500. That's 951-572-5500 or go online at hiebanning.com.
You're running out of letterhead. What do? Lithopass Printing. You need business cards. Now what? Lithopass Printing. Invitations to a wedding? Lithopass Printing and Banning is the answer. Lithopass Printing can provide banners, signs, and blueprints. Think of Lithopass Printing and Banning for quality graduation, birthday party, and baby shower invitations. Lithopass Printing also provides lamination, faxing, and photo prints. If you need it inked, make it Lithopass Printing. Lithopass Printing and Banning.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. Joining our live stream audience there, we appreciate you. Diana Schiniver says, I love movies. Patricia Summers says, it's become an industry of collaboration. Complete a job and move on to the next. And Marian Campolo says, during COVID, it was 69 cents a liter for 8 of the hardest lockdown months, though. And she's talking about, I think we're talking about gas as well. So lots of news over there. And all right, I just saw this. This is interesting. And I think some of you might think it interesting as well. Biden has made an announcement announcing they're wiping away hundreds of millions of dollars more in student loan debt, covering borrowers who said they got ripped off by their school. With the latest wave of debt forgiveness announced last week, the Department of Education has now canceled, get this, Jesse, roughly $3 billion in student loans since the beginning of the year. Borrowers have been given more room in their budgets to save, invest, or get a handle on their other debts. Millions of Americans are waiting for word on whether he will provide massive student loan forgiveness. But here's what we know so far. The fresh debt forgiveness is going to students who attended ITT Technical Institute and made claims against the school for misrepresentation or deceit, the Education Department announced Wednesday. ITT, a for-profit technical school that operated campuses around the U.S., closed in 2016. Eligible borrowers will receive 100% loan discharges, totaling about $500 million. Claims from some 18,000 students have been approved, according to the department. Education Secretary Miguel Cardona says, quote, our action today will give thousands of borrowers a fresh start and the relief they deserve after ITT repeatedly lied to them. Officials found that the school misrepresented how much students could expect to earn and the types of jobs they could land after graduation. In reality, borrowers told the department that having ITT on their resumes made it harder to find employment. Whoa, what? What happened there? Imagine that, Jesse. You're like spending all that time and now you're like, wait, it's harder?
Right. I still remember those commercials. Remember,
yeah,
ITT Tech for whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just like, wow. I feel bad for all those people that fell into this and couldn't get jobs. It's horrible, especially all the money they lost.
Yeah, it's true. The new relief is in addition to $1 billion in student debt the Biden White House canceled earlier this year under the same law. Later, unrelated move forgave another $1.3 billion. In the case of ITT, eligible borrowers will receive notices over the next several weeks, followed by forgiveness of their loans. That's kind of like an early Christmas holiday. Like, yay, right? That you had to pay it. Now you're like, that's helpful. Members of Congress have been on a mission to convince Biden to obliterate up to $50,000 in federal student loan debt for every American saddled with unpaid college loans. They want the president to use his executive authority to strike the debt. He said he's willing to cancel at least $10,000 in student debt, but he's rebuffed calls for the bigger amount. He's asked administration officials to look into the idea, and he recently told Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren that they're welcome to keep pushing him on the issue. Those fighting for more generous relief say it would give Americans a more meaningful break from crushing student debt that's kept from buying homes and cars, getting married, and investing for the futures. If you're not eligible for the latest forgiveness plan and you need relief from overwhelming student loan debt, there are things you can do right now. One, refinance your student loans. That's always one that many look at. Interest rates on student loan refinances from private lenders have hit record lows. Replacing your debt with a new private student loan could cut your monthly payments substantially. Refinancing a federal student loan into a private one could make you eligible if federal loan forgiveness ever happens. Now, if you're a homeowner, you might want to refinance your mortgage. With 30-year rates averaging less than 3%, some 14.1 million mortgage holders could save an average of $287 a month by refinancing. That's according to mortgage technology and data provider Black Knight. The best rates go to borrowers with the highest credit scores. If you haven't seen your score in a while, you can take a look at your credit score for free. Just go to online and do that by a variety of ways. So, Very interesting, but that's the latest, and I think we'll see a lot more on that home front as well. So you could tell the nation's really trying to get back to the way it was, prior to this whole pandemic, right?
Yes, I want things to go back to normal, but there are certain things I do not want to go back to normal.
Yeah, like what?
Just the craziness of people, like this, the whole racism thing, and let's be real. I think it's like every week I turn on the news and there's like a mass shooting.
Yeah.
It- it's disturbing. And then people are like, oh, gun laws, and if somebody really wanted to kill someone, they'll find a way.
Yeah, I
With
agree.
a knife or poison a bunch of Gatorade, who knows?
Yeah, I agree. I could tell my mom's kind of going like, no, I don't want to live on a boat. It was a joke, Mom. I have so many comments. I'm sorry. I'm looking at this huge, like 20 paragraph post, Mom. Because sometimes I get into, I go, Mom, I was joking. It was a joke. I am not moving on a boat. Okay. I have a friend who lives on a boat. She takes it like, oh, we're living on a boat. No, we're not living on a boat, Mom. Okay. I just threw it out there. We're not living on a boat. She's got all these reasons why I shouldn't live on a boat. But there you go. So, no, I just have a friend who has a boat. Like, do you remember Quincy, the MD, way back in the day? He lived on a boat. I was like commenting on it, like I got to be careful what I say on the radio. I always get,
Yeah,
I'm like, do you ever get that, Jesse, where you're like, your mom goes, or no? I think I keep you out of harm's way with that. That's why.
No, let's be real. There's a couple things I'll say, and then she'll be like, "So you talk about this, right?"
Yeah.
Or you said this. I'd be like,
I know. I'm like, don't listen, don't watch the show. I'm gonna ban you. I'm gonna start banning her again. I'm like, no, I didn't mean any of that. And then it's like 3 hours of, no, I didn't. I said it. I was just, so just. Okay, gotta love moms. All right, let's see. The 2021 Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach will be held on September 24th to the 26th with fans at full capacity. The race was canceled together last year due to the COVID-19 pandemic. This year, organizers pushed the event date from April to September in hopes restrictions would be lifted. Organizers said at the time they hoped that by postponing the event, it could be held with full fan participation. Grand Prix Association says the Grand Prix Association is looking forward with great anticipation to being able to conduct the 2021 Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach on our revised dates of September 24th to the 26th. So that's the latest. That's what they're looking forward to. Again, I hope we're there. We'll see. The date of the 2022 Screen Actors Guild Awards ceremony was announced yesterday. The 2-hour telecast will be held on February 27th on TNT and TBS. Submissions for nominations will be open from August 30th until November 5th. Producers, studios, networks, agents, managers, publicists may submit a performance for consideration in a category of the actor's choosing with the actor's permission. Actors are able to submit their own performances. Eligible performances must air or premiere between March 1st and December 31st of this year. Nominations will be announced on January 12th. So there's the call for the SAG Awards, which I will say I've attended the SAG Awards, and they're very fun to attend. So but I don't know that we're there just yet, but maybe we will be if this latest resurgence doesn't hit us. Which, when they advised us this last year, I think a lot of people were like on the fence going, yeah, I don't think so. Do you remember that around this time last year?
oh, about the SAG Awards and stuff.
No, about the resurgence of like coronavirus.
Oh, yes. I figure it'll pop up every couple months whenever there's a major holiday or something.
Yeah, once we're done with these variants, I think we're good. Probably give it another, I don't know, I hate to say it, but I've already said it a couple of times, and, people look at me kind of crazy, and they go, we're not out of the woods. Judy Munoz says, watching from Walla Walla, Washington. Oh, good to have Washington on our side. We appreciate you. And you would like to live on a boat, huh? It's like an interesting idea. I mean, you got to have enough money to,
Yeah. It would be an interesting experience as long as I don't make a 3-hour tour or I don't want to end up like Gilligan and wind up on an island or something.
Well, like in the marina, that's one thing, like Doc, right? So I have a friend who, he has like another, what does he call them? I forget, but you could go out in the water, but he keeps it parked. And I'm like, okay, in the marina, that's one thing. I don't know that I want to go out onto the ocean like Diana does, but let's see. She says, tell your mom I'm aboard a boat, but you can also have a boat house and enjoy both. There you go. So See, and then I get to see my mom's already stressing out there. Let's just not. Okay. Mom, you'll be fine. You're being in a motorhome. Now I'm going to get that watch. I don't want to be in a motorhome. So, 20 different things on what to do. It's all right. I guarantee you Newsom will make an announcement within the next couple of days, and I think a lot of people will at least rest a little bit easier, and that's what's going to happen. Stephanie Reese says, I know in Erie, Pennsylvania, they actually have really sized boat houses. Some vessels have laundry rooms, so there you go. Yeah, so, Okay, I'll be visiting you in Florida for sure. And then I was like, no, you're not leaving. Ah! So I go, So there you go. All right. Anyway, it's a joke, Mom. Okay. Let's see. Lots of things happening in the news. 1, be safe out there. 2, watch what's on Netflix. And everybody just have fun. There's a lot of new things happening like this one on Paramount Plus. Have you checked out Paramount Plus lately, Jesse?
I do have Paramount Plus. I watched a show with my girlfriend a couple days ago. We watched the reboot of the iCarly TV series.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That sounds like
it's fun.
Yeah. Jerry and Marge Go Large, starring Bryan Cranston and Annette Bening, are inspired by true events. The film will be directed by Academy Award winner David Frankel, and principal production will begin this July in Georgia. It's written by Emmy nominee Brad Copeland and will be produced by Academy Award nominee Gil Netter, Levantine Films, and executive produced by Kevin Halloran. Jerry and Marge Go Large tells the story of retiree Jerry Selby, who discovered a mathematical loophole in the Massachusetts lottery and, with the help of his wife, won $27 million and used the money to revive their small Michigan town. So you can check it out on Paramount Plus, one of the many streaming platforms that are available for you to stream from. I don't know which one you guys are binge watching as of late. I am looking for some good films. I watched a couple good films with my mom the other night, and look, it's good to spend the time with the family, especially when you're like, you got nothing else to do, right? Or you're just trying to make ends meet, or you're just trying to do the right thing over there. So just, have fun with whatever you do. Have fun with the family, and then say, hey, how can we continue to be safe so that when and if the resurgence happens, we're still ahead of it and we're not, having to deal with it at the time. Because I will say this, and I've had this conversation with my mom a couple of times. I said, just because people feel like, it's summer, it's great, we still have fall coming up around the corner, and we still have the resurgencies of the, which I just saw another article about the Delta strain, which is currently here in the LA County. But if this does happen again, we got to save our money, right? We got to make sure to be able to get over the next little hill. So let's keep, things kind of, in that proper perspective. If we keep it in a proper perspective, we could plan ahead. So I always say this to anybody listening, plan ahead. Worst case scenario, you got more money than you know what to do with by the end of the year, because come December, I know you're going to want to buy presents. I don't know about how it was last December, but, so don't go into the whole, yay, I'm just going to throw it all out there right now and then wonder what happens in November when and if this happens again. I mean, I'm just throwing some common sense there, so take it for what it is. All right, people, I'm out of time. Make it a great day, whatever you do. Remember, life is worth living. Live it well. We'll see you around the corner. Bye-bye, everyone.